Hi.
Hi, you got your microphone working. You're so smart. I can't get
I
it.
I was afraid it maybe wouldn't that it wasn't working, but is it?
Sounds like it.
Alrighty.
Okay.
I feel so legit holding this little baby mic. It's so cute.
Well, you are so cute. Lace, how are you?
I am so good. Yeah, I'm working from home today and then I'm going, our Black Friday sale officially started today, so I'm going into our warehouse after our quick little podcast just to check things out and kind of share some deals and stuff like that. So it's kind of a fun day. I love Black Friday week. Don't you
I
love
do
it?
too. It feels like you build for it like the whole year and then it's here.
Mm-hmm. Oh,
Um, okay, so this is Lacey, you're my first return guest, by the way.
I'm so flattered.
And I was at the gym this morning listening to our first podcast episode we did. And I was like, wow, we sound really smart.
How long ago was that? Like 2 years ago? Was I pregnant? Do you
You're
remember?
pregnant with you.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, which is amazing. And it was here at my warehouse. You remember before I got my studio?
Mm-hmm.
You're one of my
Oh
first
yeah.
guests.
So fun. I'm glad you're back.
Well, me too.
Well,
Me too. Okay, so Lacey, let let me just do a quick little introduction for both of us. So I've been wanting to get back to my podcast so badly. And what I tell everyone is like a year ago, I came back and started running Freshly Picked again. And it's so much more fun to like sit around and talk about business and like chew the fat when you're not the one cooking the steak. And so I haven't wanted to like talk about business because I've been in it. And so, um, and then it's just like, who has time to go to a studio and record a podcast? I didn't, even though I have a podcast studio. So my friend Emily does a podcast like this every week on her Instagram called Inklings. And it's just such a genius idea that I was like, I'm going to start doing it like this. So this will turn into both a YouTube and a podcast, like a audible audio podcast after this. So this is how I'm going to do it. Hopefully it works. I want to start talking to entrepreneurs again. I feel like there's a lot of questions people have about running a business today. It's like trickier than it's ever been. And so that's what I'm going to be talking about. And then Lacey is one of my longtime friends. We've been friends for 15 years. Luke was
probably
a
at least,
baby.
yeah. Yeah.
How old's Lukey?
Well, he's almost 14, but I met you before that, just not in person before,
Yeah.
Right? I mean,
Yeah. Yes, we
were
followed
IG
each other
friends.
online. Yes. And Lacey's an incredible entrepreneur. She is the owner of Laced Hair Extensions and also Lace Hair Care. She came out with a new hair care line this last year, which I'm obsessed with. I had a nervous breakdown a few years ago and I started losing all of my hair from that experience. And Lacey gave me, I still have it, a bottle when it was just a sample. It wasn't even out yet. And it's this hair regrowth serum that is like non-toxic. Well, I don't know actually, but it's great. It doesn't disrupt your scalp or like make you feel sticky or anything. And my hair started to grow back really well. And she's got beautiful products, beautiful business. I'm a longtime admirer and fan of all that you do, Lacey. So I'm so excited you're here.
Oh. And by the way, it is non-toxic. Dermatologist tested and approved, safe for sensitive skin. So yes, it is non-toxic.
It's really incredible stuff, actually. I love it.
Yeah. Oh, I'm so happy that you like it. Yeah, I'm excited to be here. It's so interesting that you said, like, I've been in the business, so I haven't really had time. And I think like that could be like a really good topic right away, that we don't have time, right? Just because we get so involved in the day to day and we forget to do sometimes the things that we really love, and you're so good at talking with people and interviewing people and collaborating. And so like, I'm excited that you're doing this again, just because I know how much you love it. So yeah. And I think it is such a good idea with Instagram doing it on a live, because seriously, when I get asked to do podcasts, and it's fun to go into a studio and all the things, but sometimes when you can't because they don't live here and you're there's always something happening with technology. Maybe it's me because but I'm always like, I can't figure out how to use their, you know, Riverside app or whatever I'm supposed to do. So I think this is a good idea. Hopefully it makes the technology work a little bit better because it's just on IG, right? We all know how to use Instagram.
Yes.
At least I do. One of my only things I know how to do.
Well, and if you can't figure it out, hopefully there's a teenager in your house that can help you because they're so good.
I don't let
Um,
my teenagers have Instagram, Susan. Is that mean of me? I'm just kidding.
oh, well, no,
Well, I'm
I
not kidding.
mean, Hattie really wanted it. I have two kids. My daughter, she really wanted it. She got it. My son doesn't seem to care, so he doesn't have it. And it's just,
Yeah.
yeah,
Well, Noah just turned 16 yesterday. I don't really know if he wants it. He might. I don't know. Maybe that's like the age, 16. I don't know.
I
We'll
don't,
see.
I don't know either. With boys, it's a little scarier.
Oh man. I know. I've been watching. Noah drove his car to the first, like, he drove to his own orthodontist appointment today, and I've just been watching his
Oh,
location, like,
yeah.
following it, panicking.
Yeah.
But yeah, scary things. I have a baby and teenager, so it's like I'm very
Yeah.
scared for both of them in different reasons,
Yes.
for different reasons.
Yes, I am a constant visitor. If one of my most used apps is Find My Friends, like where are my children at and what are they doing? Yes.
Hmm.
Okay, so Lacey, last time you came on, you were pregnant with Huey, the fourth. Um, and you know, when we did the last podcast, we talked about your MS diagnosis. We talked about all the things you've been doing. I don't know that you had launched Laced Hair Care when we talked last.
Mm-mm.
Um, so just give us a quick little update on your life and what you've been up to and the things you've
Man,
been doing.
yeah, so a lot has happened since being pregnant with that little babe. He is the best. You got to come hang out with him this weekend. As you know, he's like the sweetest little baby. He's a year and a half old now. Um, and we also launched, like Susan said, we launched our hair care line, which has been incredible. And it's a very saturated market, so just like totally being transparent there. But I think where we're a little bit different is we are really focused on scalp care, especially because extensions are attached to your scalp. I have them in, of course, right now. They're attached to your scalp, and I think sometimes we forget to really take care of our scalp where the extensions are attached, and it can lead to damage. Um, and then our other products too that we have, pretty much I just, for owning my business for almost 15 years, the inbox, our customer service inbox was just like, what products are the best to use? What oil do you recommend? How come my extensions are turning pink? Is it sunscreen? Like, and so really we just took our customer service inbox and turned it into a product line just because I was like constantly saying, try this product, maybe this one. And, kind of like every entrepreneur story where you're trying to fix a problem, that we thought we had with not having the right products for extensions. There aren't a lot of products out there that are extension focused, only scalp focused. Um, but I wanted to make sure that you love the product and you don't wear extensions. It's not just for extensions, but it is created for like specifically for extension wearers, but to be like amazing. My husband steals my products. He has, curly hair, and the mask is so great for his curly hair too. So they're really for everyone, but definitely wanted to solve like the extension process. So yeah, that's been our latest venture. I had no clue what I was doing in starting a product line. I just knew I didn't want to white label anything. I wanted it to be incredible. Um, and then yeah, and we still have more products coming out. January, of course, I was hoping they would be here in December, but they're not. So January we are continuing the line and have a couple more products coming out in January. So we also moved into a headquarters space since I last talked to you. If you're local to Salt Lake City, it's at the Gateway. That's where I'm usually working. I also have a podcast studio in there. It's funny that you said, but I have a podcast. I do. I just, one day. But so that's where all of our offices are as far as like our marketing team. It's where I always film all of our educational videos. We have parties there. I do classes there. So it's really nice to have like a big space. And we also moved into a new warehouse that was triple the size of our other one, so we could continue to grow. Um, and that's actually all been in the last year. So it's been a really, we also moved on a personal note. Moved to Park City from, I was living in South Jordan. So, anyways, a lot's been going on. Yeah, just a couple things.
Yeah, I love on this podcast to talk about like the whole entrepreneur and something else that a lot of people may or may not know about Lacey is that she has a MS and she has a foundation where my sister, where she provides wigs for women who've lost their hair from a medical diagnosis. And my sister got cancer this time last year. Oh my gosh.
I know.
And she, through her chemo treatments, she lost her hair, and Lacey sent her a wig and for free. And it was, she went to her hairdresser and got it fitted and cut and trimmed and to match her face shape, and she felt really like she had kind of gained a new lease on life. She didn't wear it during the summer because it was too hot, she said, but she really, it really helped her and it changed her life. And so um, I love that you turned your diagnosis into something that you can help other people with. And it was really just such a sweet thing to do for my sister. So thank you. But how is your diagnosis going?
So, I must say I've like been doing pretty good. There are moments where, they're called bouts that it can be pretty unbearable, like the pain. And neurological pain is weird. It can't really be treated. You can't just go take an Advil and then all of a sudden, like the pain and tingling that you maybe experience goes away. But I always feel pretty lucky, and I'm 40, so it's not, it can get progressively worse. So every day I'm always like, oh, I'm having a good day. Let's just take advantage of it. And then I try the days that like are not good days where I'm feeling very inflamed, and uh, I just try and take it easy. But yeah, MS is just one of those weird things. People experience different symptoms with it. And sometimes mine are like way better uh, than others, way better days than others. But yeah, thank you for asking. It's been like pretty good. It's so weird because when women are pregnant, a lot of times, and again, I can't speak for everyone, but my doctor did mention like your symptoms will probably heal themselves while you're pregnant. And so I felt, of course, had all the other pregnancy symptoms that happen when you're 39 and pregnant, but like I felt so good MS wise. And I've just been trying to like, the baby is a year and a half, but like I haven't had too many crazy experiences with it since. But like you mentioned, when I am getting those infusion treatments, the steroids are so strong that a lot of times one of the side effects is that I lose a lot of my hair. Um, and so, with our foundation being able to give back, it was so sweet that it was your sister, because obviously you and I are so close, and I always love when I can help. Um, we help a lot of strangers too, but like I don't ever want someone to feel like, oh, should I not ask because I'm so and so's friend, or maybe it's like someone asking for themselves. A lot of times people don't know if they can ask, if they can get a wig for themselves. Um, so I love that story with your sister. I still have that text because it was such a sweet text that she had sent you. But anyone, so again, I didn't completely lose all of my hair from a cancer diagnosis, but I did lose like 70% of my hair. So clip-ins were a great option for me. So if someone needs hair, like they're just losing their hair and they don't necessarily need a wig, we give extensions too. So something I just wanted to touch on because um, we have all methods of extensions, wigs, and then sometimes people just have, maybe alopecia spots, and so we do wig toppers too, which has been really cool. And because of all the donations that people give us and the gala, we've had 3 of those galas where we've raised a lot of money, which has been incredible. So we can buy wigs. And we actually have wigs that we're sitting on right now that we need to give out. So anyone listening wants to apply, they can do it. I'm sure we'll have like linked notes to all of our websites, but directly through the foundation website, you can just apply for yourself, your sister, your daughter, or your friend. But yeah, I'm glad you mentioned that because it's something that I think in the hustle bustle of being an entrepreneur and owning a brand, and it's exhausting and very like it's still exciting and fun, and there's so many things that I love, but having this charity and this give back has been definitely my most favorite part of my business, just because of the women that we get to help that really do uh, that really are looking for just like that restored confidence, and it's been really fun.
Love it. Okay, I want to talk to you about starting over because I feel like it's on my mind right now, and I feel like you are the queen of comeback. You really like you get knocked down and you just like get back up again and keep going. And so maybe tell me about a few times when you've had to start over, and yeah, let's just start there and then I'll ask some more questions. Yeah.
Man, so really what's so crazy is each time, like even I think something that comes to mind would probably be like employees, right? I think that and I love my employees. Even when they leave, I, stay in touch with them and like love them, but it's still extremely hard. So it's like, you hire someone and you're training them and you're trying to get them on, like up to date with your brand. And that takes some time. And then when they leave, you're like, oh my gosh, now I have to like really start all over. And um, I think that that's been one of the things that's probably been the hardest, especially in like the last, I would say like 4 years, is just when there's turnover, because you feel like you're completely starting over. You're like, oh my gosh, I have to retrain this marketing specialist, or maybe it's, just someone in the salon that I own. And that's been something that, yeah, I wouldn't say I necessarily have that figured out. I would just say that that is extremely difficult when you have to start over with new employees. But also very fulfilling because like you're excited and they're excited to get started. But I would say that's probably one of the hardest things is just employee turnover and retraining, your new marketing team or whatever it could be. Um, Also, I went through a divorce, and this has been a long time ago, but that was probably on a personal side, right? There's like employee parts, you're going to go through personal things. I had my health struggles and stuff, but like going through that divorce was really hard too. Um, we had the business together, so I had to really rebuild and refine myself from that point. That was very difficult. Um, yeah, there's probably I know there's probably like a
Well,
hundred more.
and like moving warehouses, moving offices, like there's
Mm-hmm.
so many opportunities. Also, I feel this way, and I don't know if you feel this way. Um, I feel like I've been when I had taken a sabbatical from Freshly Picked. I stepped out of the CEO role in late 2020, and then 2021 I was totally not in the day to day. And so stepping back in last year was like, holy cow, this business is so much more complicated than it was last time that I ran it. And also, e-commerce, just as a sales channel, which is what we primarily sell through, and I know you do as well, has changed so much. And I feel like almost every every new update, every new technological advancement that you can put onto your business, it feels like you're starting over. I mean, I've talked to a lot of people this year who um, traffic's been hard to get because of uh, there was like two big people. I don't know if I'll get flagged for saying it, but there was an election in the U.S. and so I feel like they were putting all this money into the advertising space, and then advertising inventory was super low and it was super expensive, and so everyone was starting over that way. And so I definitely feel like that's something that like let's dig into. What is there like a mantra you tell yourself when you're starting over, or you just like jump in and get dirty, or do you like make a plan, or like how do you go about it?
Man, I know I was going to mention the, yeah, I did hear about that, that election year that we had, and it did the traffic to our site with our ads. So we do have ads partners, and starting over with new ads partners.
Oh wait, Liz, I think your microphone went out. Oh, there you go.
Uh, so starting over with new ads partners can be extremely difficult too, right? And I rely on them to help us make the plan, and we kind of wing. I feel like we wing so much, just to be honest, but we still definitely try to have a plan. But we have noticed definitely traffic being down on our site too. And so just trying to like from there, we kind of look at everything. We're like, okay, how many emails are we sending? Do we need to maybe shift and make sure our segments are correct? Because we know, just kind of like going back to old school ways, like instead of like only relying on just like the ads during that time, because we know with traffic, maybe it was ads, maybe it was something else. And so then there were a couple things that we looked into, and we saw that like one of our campaigns had been turned off. Um, and just making sure that like that was turned back on was something that I didn't think to check our segments like every week, right?
Yeah.
And then just trying to be a little bit innovative. Like, should we up what we're posting on TikTok? Um, really staying involved with Instagram as they're launching new things, and they're like, make sure you're posting reels, but then make sure you're doing carousels too. We've been trying to do carousels to try and keep people on. So definitely laying out a plan that we just keep going.
Yeah.
Like, and I think that as long as you can't fail if you're literally still trying. So even though I do think a lot of e-commerce and it's I know it's everywhere, but obviously I'm in beauty, and I mean Sephora and Ulta are down like 25% this year. And last year I think they were down 15%. So when you're looking at those trends and you're seeing that this is happening to beauty brands, you're just like, okay, how can I be different? How can I just make sure we continue to try and we're getting new people and trying to stay innovative while like trying to stay afloat and all the things. So, um, yeah, we definitely are planning, and then also know that like in a week we may have to readjust our plan because something else is going to happen, right? So I also
Right.
think trying to be a little bit flexible and encourage your team to be flexible.
Hmm.
No one likes fire drills, especially when you've been working on things for so long, but just keeping that flexibility and just knowing that you may just have to pivot, like to just keep sales happening. And that's something that I think the last year we've really gotten better at, is like pivoting and offering more, and more being like creating a product line so we can have a bigger, broader audience, and even men that want to use like our scalp serum and stuff. So that's probably helped us a little bit too.
I um I was thinking through while you were talking about how earlier when you said we took our customer service emails and created our product pipeline from that, which is so genius. Like if people are coming to you to buy one thing and then but they're asking you for recommendations on another product, that means they trust you. They want they find your brand trustworthy and they want your recommendation. And so to create product off of what people were asking you to recommend, so genius. How did that like? Did you get enough emails where you're like, oh, we got to do this, or how did that come about?
Yeah, I mean, I've been thinking about doing it for probably like 5 years, and I finally just did it but again, I had no clue. I had no clue how long it would take. We did bootstrap everything, which I said I would never do that again, and then I did. But like it's fine. We have enough
Oh my
money,
gosh,
and
my business makes a liar out of me so many times a day. I can't even believe it.
yeah, and then we did that. So, but yeah, when I started developing it, I did work with someone in product that obviously knows what they're doing because I had no clue how to even start. But it, you know, like I had mentioned, it was really important to have products that were safe for extensions, and we just started making the prototypes. You said that you still, you know, have one of those little samples. It's funny because I probably got, depending on the product, but like for our oil, I seriously got, I think, 15 iterations of our oil, if not more. And even, you know, the product girl that I was working with, she was like, you're gonna get, you're gonna fatigue the fillers. They're not gonna want to keep working with you. And I was like, well, then I can't release it because I'm not gonna release it unless it's right. But that it took 2 years to complete my first product. So that was shocking. I had no clue how long it would take. And then packaging, of course, takes forever. And so it had been almost 2.5 years by the time we launched like our very first products. So just knowing that it's going to take a lot of time to create that, unlike, you know, a lot of people can start an extension brand and it's like really happening a lot. And a product line is definitely harder, more expensive, and you know, we have a sunscreen that has to get FDA approval, so like there's just like so many hoops that were new to me, right? I ran my extension business for 15 years. I feel like I've really nailed that one. Still run into like headaches, of course, but creating products is a whole new ball game, worrying about expiration dates and on the products, and making sure the products are efficacious. And we ran everything through clinical tests, so they're tested by dermatologists, because that was really important to me. We're giving, you know, our scalp serum to women that already have health issues. We don't want their scalp to break out or something like that. So it was really important that we went through all the correct processes and I didn't cut any corners with this line. And I got some advice from people that told me, you know, they would say, we do so and so's line and she just white labeled. Why don't you want to white label? And I'm just like, no, I don't want to white label. I want this to be incredible. And, but again, if I could go, I'm not saying I would go white label if I could go back, but it probably would have taken me only 6 months to 3 years, as I'm still working on some of them. So, yeah, it was definitely hard, but I am so proud of our products, and that like the fulfilling part of it makes it worth it. Like, because even though it was so hard, and like I mentioned, we were bootstrapping it again, I like, you know, my future self is like very proud that I went about it the right way.
Right. Right. I love it. Um, okay. In the past year, besides moving and your personal life and your headquarters and your fulfillment center, what's what's one of the biggest challenges you faced?
That's really funny. Only in the past year.
Yes, yes, yes. Or I don't know, the past 5 years. Like I feel like business is changing so much all the time.
Do you want it to be business related?
No.
That's funny because you know me so well that you're like just laughing at me because you know how hard the last year of my life
I
has
know
been.
it's been rough. Yes.
Um, oh my gosh. Well, I already mentioned the employee, like employees and finding new employees and finding the right employees. And I already mentioned that part. But I think just having ambition isn't even the right word, but just hoping, like jumping and then hoping that like there's something out there to catch you
Yeah.
has been really hard. I would say I like to take risks, but I'm usually incredibly smart with my risks. And like when I say smart, I mean like,
Calculated.
yeah, like I'm not going to take a risk if the risk is too high.
Right.
I'm like, I I have 4 kids. I just have, like, it's just too much. So taking a huge risk in starting that product line was probably the hardest thing. It was a financial risk. It was a risk in something that was new to me. I've been a hairstylist for over 20 years. So like I know products and I know good products, but being the creator formulator of these products was probably the biggest risk. And that was the hardest, was coming out of my comfort zone to take a risk with something that I believe in. But I'm so happy now that I did it, but it's still hard every day. Just because it's launched doesn't mean that now like everything's great. You know, I have tons of products that like I want to sell and everything. So just, I guess the unknown is hard, like really hard, but exciting and it's fun. I would get bored if I didn't keep doing more. As much as I complain, I'm like, "Ah, I'm doing too much, doing too much. I know I should start a product line or maybe have another kid or, you know, to free
I
up all of
feel
my time."
I feel like no matter what your accolades are, no matter how many times you've moved your business, no matter how many pairs or sets of extensions you've sold, it's like being vulnerable enough to like launch a new product that you really care about is like it feels like starting over. Like I feel that way when we launched Good News Brand, like sharing that, or my podcast studio, or my podcast even. It's like I've had a ton of success at Freshly Picked. I have investors. I have people who look up to me like I know this, but then to like put myself out there to start something new, it's like I don't want to be bad at something that I should be good at, you know?
Well, and I think I became extremely humbled. I guess I just thought like everyone that already uses my brand or that maybe even follows me, I was like, all of them are going to try this oil because they're going to believe me because it's so good. And people are loving it when they try it, but people also are, you know, they already have their favorite oil and it's scary to try something new. And our products are high end, so it's, you know, so it definitely gave me a little bit of that humble pie where I'm like, oh, I have to do things a little bit different. This isn't just my regular audience. This is a different product. This is something new. And yeah, I think that I still am figuring it out. Like we launched in February and I know I have a long ways to go. So
Yeah, converting your current audience to a new product, even if it's a new product offering or a new category or even a new business venture, is I thought, oh, I have great audience for Freshly Picked. They'll all want to listen to my podcast. Well, they don't. Like it's like, and then you're like, to your point, it's like this piece of humble pie where it's like, okay, actually, how did I create a community around Freshly Picked? I know how to do that. So now I can create a community around this new thing that I'm doing and start over like that. But you really do have to kind of go back to the basics. And it is like this dichotomy where you're like, I'm running processes and systems over here, and this is like a well-oiled machine. And I'm over here in the garage, like dropping a hammer on my foot with this new thing. Like, even though I know how to build systems and processes, like at the end of the day, even if I put them in place, I'm going to be the only one that does it. You know what I mean? And so it's like this whole, yeah, it's humbling. I loved that word. It's really
yeah,
good.
very humbling.
Very, very humbling. Okay, Lacey, what is coming up that you're excited about? By the way, you guys need to know, I sent Lacey questions and I've gone off script for every question. So sorry, Lacey.
It's all right. I had them all memorized too. I'm just kidding. So something that's exciting is we already mentioned that our Friday sale like officially started today, but I'm really excited for our new products that are launching. They're coming in January now, but we have been working so hard on them, and it's something that is new to market, and I'm really excited about it. Have you ever used a scalp
Yes.
scrub and then you had to like
Wait,
when you're
like a one of the physical ones or like a lotiony scalp scrub?
no, like one of the physical ones in the shower,
Yeah,
and then
I
you
have.
have to shampoo it out,
Yes.
um, or it has like a salt or
Oh,
like actual sand,
yes.
and it gets like
Yes.
stuck,
Yes.
especially if you're an extension wearer. Um,
I've only
so
used it once because I found it so laborious to get all of the pieces out of my hair and I was finding them for like
yeah,
days.
and especially like you're not wearing extensions right now, and like when you have extensions in, well, you haven't worn for years, but when you have extensions in, they get like
Lacey's bitter that I'm not wearing extensions,
Your hair is
everyone,
so
just so you
pretty.
know
Who
what
needs
that's.
them? Um, but so our scalp scrub that we created that's coming out is, and now I just announced what the product is before, and we haven't announced that yet. Anyways, here we go. But it's also a shampoo, so it lathers and it comes right out of your hair, and it is literal magic. I am so excited for that product to launch. It is, I've never seen anything like it on the market, which is huge for me. We really created something really special. And so I think people make sure to exfoliate their face, and sometimes we just forget about our scalp. That's just like an extension of your face.
Right.
So taking
Something
care
that
of
I
your
learned
scalp.
from you, because I've been on a hair journey, is that stuff that we put in our hair, like dry shampoo, is kind of the worst thing to sit in your hair for a few days. Like if you use it one day, you want to wash it out. And I don't know that anyone is talking about that. I don't know that anyone knows that. And I used to think that, oh, I have greasy hair, day 5 hair, I got to train my hair. I'm just going to put in dry shampoo for a few days in a row. And it's like actually causing the follicle damage, and my hair is falling out because of that. And so I think like I think I have a pretty healthy scalp thanks to you, Lacey. So thank you.
Oh, good. Well, yeah, I think that it used to be like a competition for people. Like, oh my gosh, I'm on day 7 of this hair. I'm so proud of myself. It's like, what if you were just caking your makeup on 7 days in a row? Like, none of us would be proud of
No,
ourselves
it's
with that.
disgusting. And you
It's
don't
like,
train your hair. You
yeah,
don't train the oil out of your hair.
yeah. So, and the oils that are in your hair are actually really good for your scalp. Like, it's important that you are applying that. Um, and we live where it's so dry. So, and that's where our scalp serum is like really awesome. It helps replenish that without making your hair oily. But yeah, I think dry shampoo was a main cause of a lot of people's hair loss, and probably still is. And so it's actually best if, because we all like have to use dry shampoo, and maybe you're, maybe or maybe not, that's also a product that I'm creating that'll be perfect. But it won't be an aerosol one. It's actually good to use your dry shampoo, as weird as it sounds, close after you've washed it. That might prolong, like I washed my hair today, so if I wanted to use some, it would be smart to just like put in a little bit right now and just kind of work that through your hair. Um, because it might give you like an extra day. So then you don't have to use it when your hair is already like clogged up with like daily pollutants and oils and all of that. That also helps, even though it sounds weird, to do it first. But that's something in case people are like, I still need some dry shampoo to start with it before it gets too dirty. So,
Love it. Love it. Lacey, thank you for always being willing to go on adventure with me. You're the
of
best.
course, I'm
Okay,
always
tell
honored.
people where they can find you. First of all, what's your Black Friday sale? Let's talk about that.
Oh my gosh. Well, it's tricky because I know I have a stylist, and I don't, you're not just regular customers, but stylists and non-stylists. So stylists get 25% off hair and up to 55% off all LHC, which is huge. But for the general public, without a stylist discount, all LHC is 20% off, which we've never had LHC on sale like that. So I'm really excited.
And
Definitely
that's
stock
the
up.
hair care line. That's
The
the
hair care
growth
line.
serum that you guys want, the oil that is beautiful. Yes.
Yep. So, and then also hair is 10% off. So, yeah, which is like really awesome, especially if a pack of hair is hundreds and hundreds of dollars. It's like a hefty discount. And then there's free mystery gifts. So if you purchase, say, clip-ins or something during the Black Friday sale, we will include a mystery gift. It could be scrunchies, scrunchies or
Your
LHC
wash off,
products. Yeah,
like wash off.
yeah, we literally threw everything in there that's just not hair. So there's even some like huge gift cards in
Love.
some of the mystery gifts. So always a fun event. And we started it today, actually. So I
This morning.
haven't seen how it's going. Yeah, went live at 9
Hey,
a.m.
you guys go and buy your hair and your hair care. Lacey, thank you for coming. I will include links in the podcast description and the YouTube. But yeah, thank you. You're the best.
Love you. Thank you.
Bye.